So, what comes before the glorious entertainment of your latest console system? Well, believe it or not, they have to make prototypes. And in the case of the GameCube, we've found, or I should say, there have been found, some really interesting prototypes. Want to find out about the GameCube's origin? Check it out on That Game Place. Hi, folks, it's Culture Casino here with my pal, my buddy, my friend, and fellow gamer, Nolan Thunder. How's it going, Nolan?
Hello. It's going awesome. How are you doing today, Culture?
Extraordinary. I'm really excited. I can't believe this is really a find. And you know what? I wouldn't have known about it without you. So without further ado, let's press on. Oh,
GameCube
there it
fan
is.
club, baby.
GameCube. Nice. You still have the box. That's amazing. Well, we're going to look at a story I was not prepared for from Nintendo Life. And this came out on the 6th of August. So just a few weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, we got this. Rare Nintendo Dolphin, which was the code name for the GameCube, which I didn't know until today. Prototype reemerges on social media. That's right. And Nolan, my friend, wow, you discovered this. So I'm going to let you walk us through it. What do you see here in the story?
Okay, so there have been quite a few different prototype GameCubes. There's been, I believe, at least 8 different code names of different variations to try to get to what we have today, which is the modern GameCube. Now, if you look into it, there have been a lot of coding of builds and everything. I'm not a coder, so apologies if there's any inaccuracies on that. But there's been a bit of a process of getting this iconic design here. There have been developer kits. There have been styles to test, like, say, the memory card units and everything under the sun like that. And you'll get a lot of really weird type of designs a lot of times when it comes to console prototypes. The Wii at one point used like GameCube ports for the Wii remotes and had like a weird star design that they nicknamed like cheddar cheese. It was weird. But back to the GameCube, they thought they had known a good chunk of what the early designs of the GameCube were. Some of them were on display at Space World 2000, which was an old school like video game trade show where they would like debut video games and all that jazz. But the strange thing is, there had been this image floating around online of this weird looking GameCube. It was that kind of an angle. I believe it came from like a private collector on an obscure site. Well, recently here, Console Variations have unveiled a prototype GameCube, and it does not look very happy. If you want to bring that picture back up here, I don't think a lot of people really knew about this thing. It is weird, and it looks like it's kind of in a mood. It doesn't look like a happy GameCube. But if you would like to show the audience.
Wow. Yeah, that is really, really different. From Console Variations, detailed pictures of the first physical GameCube ever made. It was called Nintendo Dolphin. The GameCube is so rare that we were not allowed to upload it on the internet until now. More pictures soon. So there's going to be more coming, or maybe there already has been. But I don't think this is the only one out there. Right, Nolan?
You know, I think it could be actually the only one out there, because so this article came out like a little bit ago and we knew the pictures were coming. Well, the pictures came pretty soon because just a few days ago, there was a big dump from Console Variations detailing more of the design of this. The reason I don't think that there's a bunch of these out there is because, unlike a lot of consoles you see end up on the internet, and a lot of game collectors have to test these things out, see if there's any early builds and stuff on them. This thing is made, apparently, according to them, out of wood. So I don't know if this is just a conceptual design, just for the sole reason of like, how do we want this thing to look? But apparently, like it's like doesn't have like wires and stuff on the inside. I guess it's just like wood and plastic. It's weird.
It's just a box. That's crazy. I mean, there's more to this story. The color palette is closer to the N64, apparently, according to the site here. But yeah, it looks like there's a lot of similarities between what they're showing here and what we got. But we have more to show you on this, folks. We've got another story coming to us from console variations themselves, this is what it looks like overall. And that looks like just an original GameCube to me, right?
Yeah, no, this is probably, I would guess this is probably one of the earliest designs of the actual like cube shape, because like the dimensions seem like they're about the same. It looks like it hasn't had its coffee yet, and it has a little N64 looking logo there, but it actually made a lot of sense when I first saw this, because the controller ports, like if you ever look at a GameCube controller, like the ports, they have that weird flat and the round at the bottom.
Yeah,
And you can
yeah.
see here, like, I guess they were going for that. And then someone on the team was like, you know what? Let's make this thing not look depressed.
Well, yeah, I guess it was a little bit bummed out, but I still think this is amazing, right? Because here it is again from the top, and it is labeled Dolphin on top of it. And there only before the only pictures known to exist were these two, right? This one here, and obviously this one right here, right? Oh no, this
I
one.
connect so much to that, because like so often if you're ever searching for like lost media, and for those in the audience who don't know what that is, that's basically a lot of media that got canceled and no one's ever seen it before. And so often when you're searching for this sort of things, you got to go off these blurry 2008 little images that came from a bigger image. But it's so nice of console variations to actually give us some crisp, clear pictures and stuff like that. And I think the biggest thing is it just shocked everybody, because there's like no ports. It's just it's basically a paperweight, but I'll tell you, it's an expensive paperweight, and I wish I had this paperweight.
Yeah, it would be really cool to have. There really are no ports. This is all just conceptual, and probably the reason we got the console the way that we did. And finally, we actually, or you actually, stumbled across an actual development platform for this, didn't you?
Yes, yes. So I don't think this was the first design. I'm pretty sure this probably came out pretty close to the end of it. Yeah, there we go. If you ever wanted to know what the GameCube would look like, if it looked like a PC, there you go. It might be in your nightmares, but I love this. This is so cute. Um, there have been a lot of different builds and names, and a lot of them had to do with like the theming of the ocean. There was one called Minnow. There was another one called can't the names going against my mind right now, but it was all themed to the ocean, and I find that so cool. And if you actually play a lot of GameCube games, the little fun fact here, if you play like Pikmin, for example, the name of his ship in that game is like the SS Dolphin, which is a play on the GameCube's development name. In Super Mario Sunshine, the island that he goes to, Al Delfino, is shaped like a dolphin. So it was really an integral part of the GameCube's history. And you can really just see how outside the box Nintendo was on their thinking with this system, how they kind of had a down. It was nostalgia overload with the N64, for example, but they didn't really hit a big win compared to the PlayStation. You can really see how much they were wanting to, what's something we can do that's different, that still has that Nintendo flair to it. And I think we've really come a long way, and I think the changes were really for the better.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. What I love about this is you can see the development system because that you don't really you couldn't actually develop on the box, and you weren't printing it to a cartridge. You weren't making it fixed. So when you're developing it, it makes sense. It's on some kind of a PC so that you can actually play the game that you're developing so that it works. I think it's fascinating, and these are the kinds of stories that I like to do here on That Game Place, because we get a lot of game history that at the time we didn't know how things work. Now that unless you worked for a developer, now you're getting it. Now you're seeing how these things came about, whether it's the hardware or how they made the software with the development console. So I really appreciate that you brought this to our attention, Nolan. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, it's no problem at all. And like I always love, because it's weird how we live in a world, even with the internet. There's always something from a private collector that they haven't shown the world yet, or someone who used to work at Nintendo. It's been sitting in a closet for past 20 years, and it's like, you know what? Let's bring it out now. And I'm gonna give a little fun fact I actually learned today to end us off. If you'd like to hear it, I heard this from a website called Rare Gaming Dump, and this kind of made my inner child smile when I heard this little piece of information. So apparently, some of the So the GameCube, you'll notice in the front of the system. Okay, this doesn't really have a front view here, but if you ever notice, there's a little sticker that shows like made with ATI technologies. They use uh, this GPU design that got bought out by ATI. I believe it was ArtX that was the developer behind it. So sometime in development, ATI bought them, and they had to put that little sticker on there. Well, fun fact here. Even though the GameCube has like no relation to any ATI products preceding it, after purchasing RX, ATI used their GPU technology in the Radeon video cards, starting with
Yeah.
the acclaimed R300 series. So the GameCube is in some way an ancestor to the modern PC.
Of
In
course. Of course,
Yeah,
yes. Yeah, because it was AMD that acquired them and, just ran with their tech, so, it's
so it does
unbelievable.
everything.
That's amazing. So, look, Nintendo has been, kind of a part of American life since the console wars first, kicked off. So, I just want to say I really love this story, and I thank you for bringing it to us today. Any final thoughts on this, Nolan? Because this was brilliant. I had fun.
Same here. Like with anything, GameCube, I just want it. Like you'll if you're ever going to a video game convention, you'll see plenty of expensive like PlayStation 2, original Xbox games, or systems preceding, like the 64 or later on, like the 360. But there's something with the GameCube, even though at the time it was a flop, people love this system. There was so much quality, and it reflects in the market. Look at the GameCube section. The games are like $70 and all that. And it shows if you make quality, people will come back to it and keep talking about it for like what, 20 something years now. So, hey, let's hope there's more GameCubes when the Switch 2 comes around.
Yeah, I certainly hope. But on that note, folks, what do you think? Do you think these are fun stories that we should cover about game history? Do you think this particular thing was fascinating and that the first like production prototype was a piece of wood with some paint and plastic? I mean, that's cool as heck. Plus, are you also equally interested in how the development cycle works for these types of consoles? Because to me, that's equally as fascinating as obviously a wood and plastic version of a nothing box at that point. So, but on that note, as always, game on.